Skip Sat, Choi Sat, Soi Sat. These three killings converge together is called three killings. Now what happens is if you accidentally violated three killings, what do you mean by violate? For example, you decide to, for example, renovate the area in the three killings, or you decide to dig the ground and do new things, do new plantation, start work, groundbreaking in that area. Or for example, you move into a room of the three killings, then this is what we call violated three killings. And if you do that, then it could bring about small accidents, injuries and mishaps based on the three killings principle. Of course, if you are not activating that area, you're not doing anything, you're already in that area, but you're not doing anything extra such as renovations, such as changing, repainting your rooms, hey, you're fine, you don't worry about it. If you're already slipping the three killings direction, hey, that's also fine. As long as you're not moving into the three killings area, you're perfectly okay. Now, besides the three killings, the most dangerous affliction when it comes to the Feng Shui principles is the Five Yellow Sha. Five Yellow Sha in Chinese is called Wang Sat. So every year after February 4th, the five yellow position changes. Five yellow actually belongs to the theory of flying stars and theory of yearly flying stars. So every year it changes. If you know how to read the Tong Shu will actually show you the location of five yellow. And of course, you can also download this particular table from my website, from joeyyap.com. This will actually show you the location of five yellow on a yearly basis. For example, in the year 2005, the five yellow is actually in northwest, and in the year 2006, it will be in the west sector. These are the sectors in the Five Yellow Sha we say we don't want to be in for that particular year. For example, if your door is located in the Five Yellow sector, then the whole house is afflicted by negative chi. If your room is in the Five Yellow sector, then that year things won't go smooth. You have to be careful of health, be careful of your work conditions and so forth. Remember, in old people, usually if their health is not so good, you don't want to put them in the Five Yellow sector. Old people especially should avoid sleeping in the Five Yellow sector of the house. Now, what happens is this. Five Yellow in the study of Feng Shui actually belongs to the earth element. Now, since we know it's the earth element, sometimes we can actually avoid or weaken the sector. Now, of course, if you're not using the Five Yellow sector in the house, your door is not there, your room is not there, hey, you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to purposely go and weaken this sector. So remember this. Unless you're already inside, you have no choice but to continue to use that particular sector for that year. Then only you should resort to using cures. And remember, your cures need not be Chinese or any specific symbols or any specific design. All you need to do is understand that the Five Yellow belongs to the earth element, and to weaken it, you can employ the metal element. Metal can be of any objects. Bells, for example, you can have copper, pewter, aluminium, anything that is made of metal can be used in this area, can be placed in this area to weaken the impact of earth, because earth produces metal. It's that simple. Okay, of course, the best choice is you don't touch that area. And if you don't renovate the area, you're not in the area, you are not activating the Five Yellow. You're perfectly fine. In the instance, in an unavoidable event that you have to use the afflicted areas of the house, then what do? You can always select a good date. A good date can help you negate or reduce the impact of any of these afflictions. Welcome to the Myth or Truth session of our program. Now, I have three very interesting items on our list today I want to share with you. Item number one, the Tong Shu is a very important reference book for Feng Shui. Myth or truth? This is a truth. Now, the Feng Shui actually is a compilation of tables on the yearly afflictions that happens for Chinese astrology calculations or even Feng Shui calculations. The Tong Shu actually is like an all-knowing book. In China, it's called Tong Sing. In English, it's called the Almanac. Now, inside this book, actually, every year there are certain masters that actually write down their findings so that it makes work for practitioners or even lay people easy. Now, of course, if you're doing date selection or you're doing specific Feng Shui renovations, you should not just only use the generic dates that are in the Tong Shu. The Tong Shu is very general. By right, a Feng Shui practitioner should tailor-fit those dates that are good for the individual person based on the Chinese astrology or Ba-Zi chart of the person. Remember, that's why every Feng Shui practitioner also either uses Ba-Zi or Purple Star astrology. Now, in case you hire somebody who doesn't know Ba-Zi or Chinese is Ziwei Dou Shu and they do Feng Shui, well, something is missing. You got to take note of that. Remember, date selection is an individual science. It is based on you or based on the house, how to match the specific dates based on the Tong Shu. Okay, I hope that clarifies it right now. Item number two, blue roof is bad Feng Shui because it represents the house is underwater. Now, this is a myth. Now, many people think that just because the roof is blue, it represents that it has a symbol of a house being underwater and every person in the house is suffocating. Obviously, this is a myth because, hey, roofs can be any color. And where did this idea come from? There's no basis for such an idea. Many people think that, oh, it stems from the Yi Jing, because the Yi Jing, there's a certain hexagram that represents a gua underwater and something means danger. Now, remember this, when we apply the Yi Jing, for those of you who don't understand, it's called the I Ching for common layman language. You cannot apply the images bluntly and transform it into Feng Shui practice. It is not meant to be done like this. Otherwise, you will have a hard time trying to differentiate what is real and what is not real. Always remember this. In the study of the Yi Jing, in Feng Shui perspective, we have already, it is a transform or process formula, such as San Yuan, San He or Xuan Kong. Nobody can use Yi Jing on its original symbolic purposes. Yi Jing is a divinative science. Remember this. Now, the last thing we have on our list today is actually ladies with long hair have good peach blossom luck. Myth or truth? This is unfortunately a myth. Now, just because you got long hair or short hair doesn't influence your likability to another person. Remember, peach blossom, if you are talking about face reading, is in the eyes and on the lips. Remember this. It's not on the hair. Now, that's all the time we have for our Myth or Truth session. So we're going to take a short commercial break here, so stay tuned with us. In today's face reading session, we're going to talk about the eyebrows. Now, the eyes, as you already know, represents the heart. The eyebrows represents a person's character. We say in Chinese, 眼為心，眉為性. Okay, the eyes represents the heart. You want to know a person is good-hearted or evil-hearted or cunning, is in the eyes. You want to know whether a person's character is bold, courageous or not, you look at the eyebrows. Now, what do you look for in the eyebrows? The first thing is look at thickness. If the eyebrows are thick goes upwards, normally the person's character is stronger. Whereas the eyebrows are mild or thin, usually the character is milder. The longer the eyebrow is, the more sentimental the person is. 眉長就長情. Remember that. If eyebrows are longer, they're more sentimental. If the eyebrows are shorter, 眉薄就薄情. Alright, if the eyebrows are short, it represents the person's character is actually merciless in several ways. Now also, you want to look at the height of the eyebrow. Remember, we have a saying in Chinese, 鴛鴦眉毛就必有二毛. If the eyebrows is one high, one low, then the person is likely to have two mothers. What do you mean by two mothers? Meaning that maybe their father has remarried once, or the mom remarried once. Okay, so this is the looking at the eyebrows. Now, the eyebrows height from the eyes is also very important. We don't want the eyebrows to be exceptionally low, suppressing the eyes. We have a saying in Chinese face reading, according to the classics, we have this saying, 眉低壓目，神無狀。 What does this mean? It means that if the eyebrows are low and they suppress the eyes, and the eyes got no spirit, the guy will actually kneel down to the wife holding a cane. Right? This means that the person is very afraid of the wife. Now, so remember, the eyebrows should have a substantial distance away from the eyes. Now, this part in between the eyebrows to the eyes is actually called your property palace. Whether you're going to amass big properties or not, whether you're going to be comfortable at home or not, whether you're going to feel happy at home or not, depends on this segment between the eyebrows to the eyes. Now, of course, of shortage of time in each time we do our face reading sessions. If you want to know more about face reading, you can actually log on to my website, joeyyap.com, or you can actually get my book, which is released today. It's on Nianxiang, Discover Face Reading. This book is available in most bookstores nationwide, as well as I have 6 DVDs just on face reading. You might be interested in checking them out. So I'll see you next week in our face reading program again.